Morning, hi, this is Travis from the National Weather Service, and this is your weather hazard briefing for Wednesday, November 12th. We will continue to have dry conditions and much warmer than normal temperatures today and tomorrow, but we do have a system moving in, a cold front late Thursday, mainly into Friday, that will bring some rain down low and a little bit of snow in the higher elevations. This has been trending a little bit higher, 8,000 in the Central Mountains, 9,000 feet along the eastern highlands, along the Wyoming border. Again, this has been trending slightly higher. The snow levels and the precip amounts have been slightly lower, so the snow amounts have dropped off quite a bit, mostly just in the Central Mountains. And then we continue to have much cooler temperatures Friday into the weekend, particularly compared to now. Now we're a good 12 to 18 degrees above normal today and particularly tomorrow. Here's our high pressure ridge across the area with clouds moving through, mainly upper level clouds, broken to overcast today. May see a little bit of break tomorrow right ahead of the cold front, which is out here, but it'll have some southerly flow. As this ridge moves off out of Idaho, it'll allow southerly flow out ahead of this system, so we'll have some breezy winds as we go into a little bit Thursday, but particularly Friday, and not so much on Saturday, but a little bit lingering. And so here's our weather risk outlook. As I mentioned, we'll get breezy on Thursday, particularly out of the head of the frontal boundary, and we have precip starts really late or just around before midnight in the Central Mountains and Sawtooth, and then moves through on Friday as far as precip. Again, rain down low almost everywhere with the exception of the Central Mountains area, and then we will have some breezy winds and just some lingering snow showers along the eastern highlands Wyoming border. And then there's another little weak wave moves in on Sunday. The snow levels do drop, but not that much, maybe 6,500 to 7,000 in the Central Mountains, and then 7,500 to 8,000 in the eastern highlands. So here's our high temperatures today, still really nice, probably in that 10 to 15 range above normal. We'll go to 12 to 18 degrees above normal tomorrow, but no chance of precip today. Not really any under the high pressure ridge, hardly any winds, and then low temperatures Thursday morning, warmer than you expect because we have the southerly flow start to pick up and the cloud cover under high pressure ridging. And then here's our high temperatures Thursday, a good 12 to 18 degrees above normal with that southerly flow, particularly in the afternoon as that ridge moves off east of our area, allowing southerly flow ahead of a cold front that moves through Thursday evening into mainly Friday for most of our area. And here's our highest wind gust in Thursday afternoon. Again, it's picking up the southerly flow, particularly in our southern areas here, and then you see it pick up also in the Central Mountains in particular. And then here's Friday morning temperatures, still much warmer than normal with that cloud cover and southerly flow right ahead of. You can see it's already passed. Temperatures already dropped quite a bit into the Central Mountains, but just, particularly early in the morning, we'll still have a little bit of southerly flow before it goes through mid-morning into the afternoon across the whole area as far as the cold front moving through. And here's our high temperatures on Friday. See quite a bit of a drop, a good 10 degrees. If not a little bit more in some areas, particularly Central Mountains. And then the chance of precip Friday, good chances pretty much everywhere. I'll show you those precip amounts in a minute. And then here's your behind the cold front Friday. You see those wind gusts. And then here's our precip accumulation on Friday, quarter of an inch. But I'll show you the actual amounts here in our forecast too. That's just up to a quarter of an inch. These other ones are really low, 100 to a tenth, and these others are around 2,500. So it's darker blue, darker green is up to half an inch, but that's mostly outside of our area, with the exception a little bit in the Sawtooth. And then low temperatures on Saturday morning. You can see cooler than the other mornings in particular. And then Saturday, temperatures in the low 50s for the most part and 40s in the mountains. And not a lot of chance of precip on Saturday, just some lingering precip. And then highest wind gusts on Saturday, just a little bit in the Arco, Snake Plain, a little bit in the Arco Desert, mainly Snake Plain. Again, behind that cold front, mostly in the afternoon, and then not looking for a lot of precip as we go. This is actually, should say, Saturday instead of Friday. So this is Saturday's precip. See hardly any precip. And then here's the total amounts as we for that Thursday into Friday. And you can see for the most part hardly any, but there are some areas that we get 4 to 6 in the very higher elevations in the western slopes of the Sawtooth and some of the Pioneer Ridge here, but not hardly any elsewhere, just at the very top ridge tops. And then overall you can see, again, as we talked about, 100 to a tenth in the Snake Plain, 2500s in our southeast highlands, and a little bit along the Wyoming border and Montana divide, and then a quarter inch to half an inch in the central mountains, particularly the higher amounts along the western slopes of the Sawtooth and the Galena area. And then here's our low temperatures on Sunday morning. See the lowest of this period, and then as we go into Sunday, 40s and 50s as that next wave moves through, and you can see pretty good pops, but there's not a lot of precip with it. We'll see some here. I'm not going to put those amounts quite out yet. Just actually, I think we do it here a little bit. Here's the overall. You can see again relatively light, with the exception around along the Utah border. Just go back to the wind gusts on Sunday. That wave is not real strong, so it's not picking up winds too much at this point. Although I suspect that'll increase just a little bit. Anytime we have a wave, you'll have them a little bit stronger than that. And then as a summary, let's cut this off, but we're going to be much warmer than normal, 10 to 15 degrees today, and then 12 to 18 tomorrow, with southerly flow ahead of a cold front, and cold front moves through Thursday evening late into mainly on Friday, and the snow level starting at 8 to 9,000 feet, and then much cooler temperatures as we go into the weekend compared to now in particular. And then there's a little weak wave on Sunday, and the snow levels will be a little bit lower, 7 to 8,000 feet, if not maybe even a little bit lower than that, 6,500 to 7,500. So that concludes the briefing. If you have any questions, give us a call at this number. Thank you.